The next question are ever popular. How do I study for the CPC exam? You could probably actually say, how do I study for the fill in the blank exam? And we have a proven process that we like to share. And let me find it on our site here.
Yeah. And this proven process has been vetted. We feel that if you take all the steps that we've given you, that you know, you're going to do very, very well. And we've given you we provide all the tools to actually work through the proven process, which is helpful as well.
And if you've started it with someone else's program, you still can plug in. So this is how it works, and you can come to this page here, CCO-proven-process, and you have a little video from Alicia talking about it. But basically, step one is a good course. In whatever your credential of choice is, find a school that has a good reputation, that you know, has good support. And, you know, listen to what others are saying about that type of support, and you know what kind of learner you are and what kind of support that you need. So that's step one. And then for our step one, if you take a course with us, we have a welcome call. We do active coaching. We really want to make sure you finish the course. And here's an example of some of our full courses. So that's step one. And, you know, a good course has textbook reading, textbook exercises, workbook exercises, like you're really, you know, working with the material. Step two, we call this the blitz, the review blitz. And basically a review blitz, it's still comprehensive, but it's the highlights. And we basically say, okay, for the CPC exam, for example, what are the competencies that the AAPC is saying they're going to test you on? And we make sure we talk about every single test competency and that you're prepared to take that test. And our blitzes are normally a live event that is recorded, and then we share that, or we do a little pre-recording and we share it that way. So
this is where the BAT technique comes in, and you know, it's been proven to really help, and it helps you really get to know your manuals. That's probably the number one thing that I think people get out of it. And another point to mention is that if you've taken a program someplace else but you don't feel like you're ready, you can jump in on step two.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yes.
that's where you would start. Jump in on step two.
And it really dovetails. We have a lot of instructors that actually recommend their students get our blitzes because it supplements what they do. It's not a competition. It dovetails nicely with what they're doing. So maybe they're going to be lecturing on the digestive system next week. Well, you as a blitz customer can watch that lecture, go to your class. You'll have your book all marked up, and your classmates are going to be very jealous.
I've had students that I taught at the college that, because that's kind of how I found Laureen, and we were talking about, you know, this is what you need to do, and they have since, and this was a long time ago now, they have since come back to us, and we've got 2 of them getting additional credentials now with us, so it's very exciting.
And then the third step, and this is very key, and a lot of people skip this. They think they don't give it as much weight as they should, and that's doing timed practice exams. And it's not just practice exams, it's timed practice exams. And you want to follow the techniques, especially one that we share called the art of skipping. We share that in our Blitz programs. You want to master how to take the exam. Students that do the art of skipping without doing any extra study have increased their scores by 10 to 15 points. So like maybe they were getting a 60, now they're getting a 70, 75. That's passing now. And they didn't do any more studying. They just changed the way they took the exam. So that's all part of that practice with the exams.
We hear a lot, you know, I got a 68, I got a 68. It just seems like that magic number. In fact, I took the CPC twice because I went in and, you know, winged it, thought I'm a coder, I can pass this test. And then when I realized that, you know, I got a 68, and the next time I went back and did it, because I actually went back before this proven process was set up, but kind of went through these steps, and it was fine the second time. But yeah,
Now,
don't
for those
skip.
that are on a total budget, what I recommend that you do, if you can't afford the blitz, is go to the AAPC site, find the credential that you're going after. So let's say it's the, well, I'll show you what we did. Chandra and I recently took the CDEO. That's the Certified Documentation Expert for Outpatient. And there was no materials to train. There was no study guide, anything. So we just basically came here. We went to CDEO, and normally it tells you the exam breakdown. That's what you're after, and it'll let you know what the exam covers. So what I would do, what we did, is we kind of made like a type of slide deck for each of these points. Okay, so 8 questions is going to be on these 4 points. So we took those 4 points, we discussed it, we went out, we found different information on different websites. The next one, provider communication, there's 15 questions. So make sure that you feel comfortable with each of the bullets that they're saying the exam covers, and that's the poor man's way of preparing for the exam if you can't afford the extra study materials. And then start Googling it. Google these things. If it's something that, like OIG, that's a CMS type website thing. Look for official sources that way. There's lots of YouTube videos out there, not on all of these topics, but on some. But I would start with the more official, websites like, CMS and things like that. That's where you can find a lot of it.
And we have, for the CPC, remember, we have a YouTube site free, and if you subscribe to us, you'll find out every time new videos are in there, but you can go in and search a specific topic. So Laureen's going there now. Let's say you want to look at something about hypertension. So just go to the little looking glass or the magnifying glass, and you can type in hypertension or the abbreviation HTN like she did, and everything that we've done on hypertension will be listed. And we've got stuff going back several years, in an ICD, ICD-9, and or diabetes. Maybe it's CKD and diabetes. So take advantage of that. Also, if you do that and you subscribe, see over in the little red there at the top, it says subscribe. Go ahead and click on that. That's very important to go ahead and do that. And when you watch one of these, like that top one, the DM coding, you watch it, go ahead and like it, because then we know that you want more content like this, and we'll be able to provide that. If you make a comment, we'll come back and read that. We do track these comments. Oh, you're muted. There you go.
Sorry, at 5:15 the house is a little loud. It's not like the kids are at bed when we do the Q&A webinar, so I'm trying. So with all of these videos that are on YouTube, we have a blog component where there's the transcript too. So what I do for myself, anytime a student has a question on something, I'm like, I know we did that. I just type in whatever it is, so diabetes, and I do cite:/cco.us. And you can do that with hypertension, anything that you want to know to see if we've talked about it, if we've done it on Live with Laureen, or Did You Know with Chandra, or the Q&A webinars, or support call, and we've shared that on the blog in the public area. This will be the list. So here's one where we're talking about E&M with diabetes. So you can just click on that.
And you can see the date. That was November 2016. So you know that it's a current, that's a current. We may have like 5 things in there, but that's the most recent that we mentioned it.
So here's the video, and it's on YouTube, but we found it here. And what's nice, you can watch it and then read the transcript below it. So that's kind of neat to do it that way too. So, so that's how you prepare for the CPC exam. You want to focus on the competencies that they're going to be testing you on and go through those steps. Make sure you had a course or some really good real-world coding experience. If you worked in a multi-surgery center, you might not need a course. You could go to our site and do a free practice exam to see what your baseline score is. So, to know how much studying you need to do. I mean, if you get a 40 or a 50, basically you bomb the test. You need a course. But if you got a 60, 65, you probably could do just the blitz and
Right.
go over the key points and do timed practice exams until you're scoring an 85%. That's normally what I recommend to people that schedule a 20-minute consultation call with me. Do a baseline. And how do you get to that? You go to up here, freebies. Click on freebies, and you scroll down, and it's one of our first subheadings, free practice exams. So we now have one for the CPC, ICD-10, the COC, the CPB, and the CRC. So these, and our goal is to try and create one free practice exam for every credential that we try and help people get certified in.
Right.
So that's our way of, giving back to the community, and it's also a tool that people can kind of see where they're at. They can see our quality of practice exams. And I wanted to take this opportunity to share, we're doing a roadmap for the products that we want to offer for the year. And we figured out to create one 60-question practice exam with really good, thorough rationales, about $5,000.
Yeah.
Cost. So, just be thoughtful. I'm sure the AAPC and other companies that create these practice exams spend as much. And, don't share logins. Don't print and give them away. That's a lot of work. And then we have to maintain them every year.
Yeah.
So, this is how we earn our living. So if you're going to use the free ones, don't give them away. Let people come and give us their email address so we can see if they're interested in some of our paid products. Yeah. But that's just kind of a pet peeve of mine. Sharing logins and things like that. It just really is not ethical. It's not a good thing to do. So.
I talked to a person today who had taken training, but it was back in ICD-9. And she was, she had taken the test, she didn't pass, then she kind of put it off and life happened. And she said, I just need something in ICD-10. And so I told her that, go take the ICD-10 free practice exam. See where you're at. Can you do self-study, or do you really need a course? Because we have a course in ICD-10. And so that's what she's going to do. Ultimately, it could save her a lot of money compared to having to take a full course in just ICD-10, or being able to do the blitz, or being able to get the book that we have in our bookstore for ICD-10 that we use, and being able to do it on her own. So that gave her 3 options by just taking a free practice exam.
Mm-hmm. Lori had shared in the Facebook chat, because she works on the help desk, so she's used to answering this, but so she put a FAQ up, how to search the CCO site easier. So if you heard, how did she do that site thing again? This is definitely something worth saving. And I learned about it back in the day when I did all of my own website stuff. And you just learn how to do these searches, and I do it just to find stuff on our own site. It's very, very powerful. I use it a lot with the CMS website and the AAPC website and other sites that I consider authoritative.